I'm Amy Caruso. I'm from ISDA, and I work on collateral solutions, and I'm delighted to be joined by Isabel Arditi from VERMEG, and she works on the choline collateral management system. And we agreed that we might be the least technologically sound people at this session, but what we want to do, and I'm not going to be subtle at all, because I'm not a subtle person, is that we are going to inspire you to come up with a common domain model implementation plan for next year for your budget. And it's going to be around collateral. Tomorrow is digital regulatory reporting. Let them inspire you on that one. Today, it's all about collateral.
Absolutely.
Now, in the collateral space, for those of you who are not super familiar, it is very much about being, oh, there we go, thank you. Very much about being as efficient as possible. When you're onboarding a new counterparty, when you're onboarding a new client, you want to make sure that you're getting those contracts negotiated, executed, and the data from those contracts into your operating system as quickly, as efficiently, and as operationally correct as possible. So we're going to talk about contract lifecycle management and how the common domain model can empower that strategy. Now, in a contract lifecycle management strategy, you have your KYC and client lifecycle management components, then negotiating and executing documents, extracting document data, the post-trade processing, the margin calls, the collateral settlements, and then also amending documents. So we are going to show you a couple of demos today, and they're not necessarily meant to sell the service, but they are meant to, again, inspire you of what is possible. So if you're interested in ISDACreate, which is an online negotiation tool, we can talk about that, but this is really about CDM and the data that you can get from that process. And if you're interested in VERMEG's collateral management system, or maybe you're already a client and you're interested in how you can use CDM, that would be great too. But we're just super thankful that VERMEG, which is the first firm to go into production with the common domain models collateral use cases, to help us with this demo. Now, ISDACreate, as I mentioned, is an online negotiation tool that can help reduce execution time and resources for legal and operations folks, can streamline document consistency, so that way, using templates, you can make sure you're using the same information for each counterparty relationship, or if you want to alter. You can also manage the pipeline of document inventory efficiently rather than having emails or back in the day faxes. People still use faxes and collateral, it's scary. And then sharing electronic versions with internal colleagues, so if you need to have sign-offs from different groups. Now what I'm going to do is, through the magic of, fingers crossed, technology, our ISDACreate colleague is happily on vacation today. So we had her, I hope she's happy on vacation. We asked her, oops, no, I wasn't gonna do it that way. We asked her to,
So hold on.
yeah.
So close out of the, go back to the,
This one?
no, because that's going to take you back to the Fleetwood Mac.
Oh, so we had a little glitch, is that when I pressed a button, Fleetwood Mac would start playing, and I know you folks don't want to see that. Well, maybe you do. Yes, okay, at the end we will. All right, I'll go back to my plan B.
So stop showing the presentation. You have to
This way?
escape.
Yeah. We see technology.
And stop
Oh,
showing.
there we go. Very good.
Now go back, now go to your YouTube.
Here. So ISDACreate is, as I mentioned, an online negotiation tool. We're going to showcase an initial margin credit support annex from beginning to end.
Using templates. So I'm going to hit this plus sign here, and it's going to bring up kind of any type of
And sorry,
usage I want to do.
there'll be
here.
data that she'll be showing in this demo that will then flow through. So that's where we're going to start. Okay, sorry, go
Plus
ahead.
sign. It gives me the option to do multiple negotiations. So think about if you're doing a project or a single negotiation. In this case, we're just going to do a single. And it allows you to either use a template that's already drafted or continue without a template. This is a pretty long document, and I created a template to cheat or move us along a little more rapidly here. So I'm going to hit new negotiation with that template. And what it's going to do is lay a digital blanket over that draft document where everything is pre-populated. Saves a lot of time. Think about it in the real world. I'm going to negotiate. Again, this is a dummy account. As it is the demo entity, it's not a real entity. And I'm going to use a dummy entity that we created on here, counterparty 101. If you were using a real entity and you began to type in their letters, say, I'm just picking Goldman, it would begin to prompt you with all the different Goldman accounts on here, and it would be tied to the GLEI database. Same thing on the buy side. I'm going to add this entity. It's not going to populate it with an LEI. See here, it's blank. Hit continue, and I'm going to come over here and get a look at, on the right side, is the HTML-based version of the 2018 New York Law CSA. It's pretty long. Again, that's why I used a template today. Anywhere it's the light blue.
So I'm just going to jump in real quick to explain something here. You guys can't see me over the laptop. I'll move over to the side. So here you're noticing the HTML. It is a PDF that can get generated. What ISDACreate does is it's creating that PDF for the two parties to agree to in a electronic format, right? Which is what we're trying to achieve with the CDM, with the common domain model. So that common domain model, this system is going to generate the agreement terms in the CDM format for everyone to consume afterwards. Sorry, so I just wanted to jump in just to explain what you guys are looking at. Because it's little.
Is where you have opportunities to draft. On the left side is where you as a user are clicking buttons and using drop-down menus, but you are creating data by doing that, and that is tied to the HTML version. So you can see here, I'm going to go to the Overview tab. This is where everything has already been drafted because I used the template. Saves a lot of time. We're not going to redraft today, but you can see by clicking through that I've already filled in the table. We've applied the credential rules in this case. The CFTC is not applicable. All the other ones are not applicable. Maybe our counterparty is going to have a different position. I'm going to make it a principal. Put any information you want in here to a principal negotiation. I'm going to let the counterparty fill that information out. You can see now that we've actually filled out almost every provision on here in a matter of 3 minutes. I'm going to confirm.
Just like that.
Yep, that's right. I'm going to add an email. I'm playing both sides of the negotiation. I know that wouldn't be true in the real world. Hit send. I'm sending it to the counterparty. Now I'm waiting for the counterparty to respond. See, it gives me a prompt. I'm not going to go over and play the other side of the platform. In the interest of time, again, you can see one negotiation is 100% along. This one is the one that we've started now. I'm going to open that up, unlock that negotiation to myself, Heather Smith on the other side. And you can see here in the overview, because I did not apply a template, right now, nothing is agreed other than the identification of the parties and that there's no agent as a principal to principal. Normally, you would apply a template on the other side and it would map and kind of digitally redline. In the interest of time today again, we're going to compare and agree to all the provisions and just make a few changes. So you see here I'm applying all the counterparty positions. Give it a moment. A few minutes ago in the overview it said that it was blank. If I go to the overview now, it actually says 100% agreed. I know that's not going to happen in a real negotiation. Just again, in the interest of time, I'm going to make a couple changes. So I'm going to go down here to the credential regime table that we applied, and I'm going to say the counterparty says, you know what, the SIM exception is applicable. I'm going to put a fallback to that mandatory method. It's going to change live while we do that. I'm also going to make changes to a few key terms I think are really important in the common domain model, such as base currency. I'm going to push back from the counterparty side, and I'm going to say euro. You're going to see that it's changed there. You can do a digital red line right here. I'm also going to come down here to the thresholds, and I'm going to say we went bilateral. They had suggested 45 million. I'm making it 50 million by counting the zeros.
Okay, we don't even have to.
I'm going to make it both US dollar now. Same thing for the minimum transfer amount. I'm going to say our policy is much lower. We're going to push back at a bilateral 150,000 and make it both US dollar. We've now made.
So I'm just going to pause it for a second because what we wanted to do today is make sure that we show a couple of terms that are in the agreement that then will flow through to a collateral management system. So I'm going to speed only because I want to keep you folks on time and I know what's next. The cocktail party. So when we go towards the end, after both parties have agreed and executed, and you can either upload signature pages or you can use DocuSign, then you get to the point that I think you're here.
Part seems a little confusing. Normally,
Then you go here.
part of the negotiation. I'm going to generate an executed copy now and create that data footprint. That data can be used as JSON or the common domain model.
And JSON, the common domain model can be used in the JSON of language as well.
Negotiation from both sides. We have the right to amend and restate it anytime. Once you put the data of a negotiation on the platform, it is there for you to utilize however you want, either future negotiations, amendments, as well as downloading the data. You can see here, structured contractual data JSON, and then structural contractual data CDM.
So with that, then
So now go back to the
slideshow
from here.
here, or not.
Yeah.
There we go. So you have your data, it's in the CDM format. Now what do you do with it? Isabel?
Hopefully you guys can see me. So what you're looking at on the screen right now is actually what is exported in the CDM format from ISDACreate. Again, it doesn't have to come from ISDACreate, but for the purpose of this example, we were using ISDACreate to create it. So you can see we brought in a minimum transfer amount of 150,000. We brought in some rounding of 10,000, right? So all of that is going to be pulled into the collateral management system. The idea is with Colleen, it is we have built a internal transformation layer that is going to grab the key terms from that CDM model, translate it into the Colleen language, the format that Colleen requires. We've taken the standard, the idea is we're trying to standardize all of the CDM connectors across all of the requirements that will be required for a collateral operation. Why did we do that? As Amy mentioned earlier, for efficiency, we want to make sure that that the process is as efficient as possible. We want a straight-through process that goes end-to-end from the negotiation of the CSA to the execution and to start margining, to the start of the margin process. Once we start that process, by automating all of this, we've now taken a process that used to take months and months and months and months and really condensed it down to days, maybe weeks, as long as both parties can agree the terms, of course. In the end, the automation is quicker, the integration is easy, we've reduced all of the operational pieces of the process, all of the manual touch points of the process, and have mitigated the operational risk. So now what I'm going to show you is I'm going to show you real quick a little video of us importing the data that we just exported from ISDACreate. We're going to import that exact same file into Colleen.
Welcome everyone. So today I will show you the connectivity between Colleen and the CDM
what to
platform.
expect.
So on Colleen we have the Colleen broker. The Colleen broker will communicate with the CDM and will import the CSA in the JSON formats, make the mapping and create a file that is supported by Colleen. So as an example, if we take this CSA, we have an initial margin euro CSA agreement. Here we have the trade parties and we have also the agreement terms, all the details regarding the jurisdiction list and information for the threshold, rounding, MTM that should be applied here. As an example for the threshold, we have 50 million USD on both sides for two parties. For the minimum transfer amount is 150K. For the rounding is 10,000 for the delivery and 10,000 for the returns. So if I take this file and I call the broker API, so once posted here, it will be directly consumed by the broker. You can see here so this file will be consumed and two new flow will be created. If I go back to the broker screen and I click on search, so here I have a flow in and I can see the status, it's a valid flow. So if I click on view, I have details regarding the flow ID. I have also the creation date of the flow, and also we can download the file that is consumed by Colleen broker. For the flow out, it's mainly to indicate to the user that the mapping is done and the new file created by the Colleen broker is sent to Colleen. We can also log in to Colleen and check the new CSA created. So here on the collateral menu, we can go to the agreement search. On the agreement search page, we have the list of the different agreements on Colleen. And you can see now a new agreement, a new initial margin agreement is created on the system draft status. Here, if I click on view and edit, so I have access to the different tabs of the agreement, and there is all the information that are already configured. I have the principal and counterparty, I have the agreement description, the agreement category. Here, if I go to the next tab, on the documentation tab, I have the credit support documentation details, the creation date of the agreement, the margin type. After that, on the call schedule tab, we have information regarding the different business center, the notification time and resolution time. So it's the same time as we had on this JSON file. So the same information. For the product tab, so the user have to select the trades between the two parties. On the collateral tab, we have the collateral schedule, or the list of different asset class and asset type that should be configured. On the IM fixed trigger tab, you can see that the 50 million threshold is already configured on the agreement. Same thing for the minimum transfer amount and for the rounding amount. For the settlement tab, so the user have to select the appropriate SSI bucket for the different collateral movement. And after that, so we can check the statement and we have the possibility to change the agreement status to pending and thereafter to approve it. Also, you can apply 4i or 6i check before approving the agreement. So you can see that all of the information for the threshold is already reflected on the agreement statement. So this is mainly for the CDM integration. I hope you find this video useful, and thank you so much for your attention. Welcome everyone. So today we show
sorry.
you the connectivity between Colleen and the CDM platform. So on Colleen, we have the Colleen broker. The Colleen broker,
Sorry, I should have hit stop and I didn't.
So we wanted to, as we mentioned earlier on, show you just a few of the clauses. You know, there is much more to a trading agreement than just MTA and rounding and place of business, but we only had 30 minutes and we didn't want to bore you through an entire negotiation or the entire agreement in gestation. Would that be the right way?
Sure.
Yes. Process. And we do want to stress that this is one example. There are other documents that other trade associations are working on. There's also other use cases in collateral, such as collateral representation. So there was reference to the collateral schedule. We'd love to get to the point through our working groups, through our collaboration with ISDA and ISLA and ICMA members to streamline that process. Because why should a piece of collateral in one type of agreement or one system be digitally represented differently than another? That could certainly help with interoperability between sourcing and sending collateral. Now, how to get involved? If you were in the CDM introduction session a little while ago, Ian Sloan had stressed involvement in the working groups, and that's really where Isabel and her colleagues have been super helpful. What they have contributed, yes, it will benefit you, it will benefit your clients at Vermag, but it will also benefit the community. So there are other opportunities of things that were contributed to the CDM structure for ISDA documents that other trade associations, the composability, but also other technology providers. No offense, but there are others.
There are.
And there's some that you work with.
There are partners of ours who are working on
So
those.
we want to make sure that interoperability works as well as possible. So it would be great to have folks, you can go to the FINOS.org and look up the common domain model. And then just to reaffirm, you know, there's the steering working groups, which Gab had mentioned earlier. And then there's also other working groups, but ours that I'd like to recruit you to is the CDM Collateral Working Group. And again, that's a cross-trade association, so that is not ISDA specific. And you can see myself or one of my colleagues or one of the other trade association representatives at the CDM booth. If you have any questions about getting involved, any questions about a use case, or if you have questions about ISDACreate or Colleen too, while we're at it. So I really wanted to just thank the FINOS and David Schoen from ISDA for coordinating our opportunity here today. And I hope we left you with some ideas of, you know, this is just a little bit, but some visual representatives of what can happen when you use the CDM around efficiency and reducing operational risk. Thank you, Isabel.
Any questions from anyone? We still have about 5 minutes, so we can field one or two questions.
Didn't we wrap up quickly?
No questions? We blew your socks off. Everybody loves it.
They're thirsty.
You're thirsty? You ready for your drinks?
All right, well, we'll be around, and we wore bright colors so you could find us in a crowd. That was strategic of us. So thank you all very much. Thank you.